Hey there everybody, you're traveling with Jack. And like the apron says, my heavenly wife Pam. If I've got the apron on, you know what that means. We're a-cooking in the kitchen, that's right. Today we're gonna do something that some folks think is a little intimidating to make. We're gonna make Mexican chicken enchiladas. These are pretty quick and easy though, and extremely tasty. So let's get started. What do you say? We've got everything laid out over here, a lot of ingredients. This video might be just a tad longer than some of the others, but it should be easy for you to follow. First of all, I've got some hot olive oil here that's getting ready in my big skillet. Gonna need a big skillet for this dish that we're going to be making, and eventually we're going to be placing it in some baking dishes, of course. So what do we start out with? First thing is going to be some fresh chopped sweet onion. I've probably got, this is about an entire onion to just about a quarter of another one. So 1 1/4 onions, sweet onions that is. So we'll put that in here. Now some people, I'm going to tell you, would do this with regular butter. And sometimes I have, but I decided to go with olive oil today. Now I will tell you something, if you're going to use butter, it's better to use the real thing. More and more studies indicate just use the pure, real stuff. Don't use margarine or I can't believe it's butter or any of these substitutes. There's just things in there you don't want to know about and you don't want to put in your body. So again, we're going to use real butter or we're going to use olive oil in this case. The olive oil that I use is one that I kind of go back and forth with. This is a Napoleon extra virgin organic olive oil. That's the one that I got on sale. Now, should I need to add a little more, I'm just about out of that. I've got Trader Joe's imported olive oil, and this is equally good, I think. All right, so there's our onions. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in a big old, looks like about a tablespoon and a half of some garlic with my onions. The thing about this dish, it smells really, really good. Now this is kind of our base that we're working on right now. This is the easy part. Actually, this entire dish is easy. I'm telling you, it's not a hard one to do. And again, this was just some of the crushed garlic. You could do your own if you'd like. All right, now since this is our base, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add cumin. Ground cumin. How much? Well, just say, let's be pretty liberal. Most Mexican dishes will have a good bit of cumin in them. You're gonna love the smell. I mean, when you add that cumin, you know that you've got some Mexican cooking that's taking place now. Did I say that's taking place now? That's more Italian, isn't it? Oh, well. Anyway, so we've got our cumin, we've got our onions, we've got some garlic. Next, we're going to add some fresh ground pepper. Oh, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Sure wish we had smell-o-vision because it smells good. Next up, we're going to add some salt. Fresh ground sea salt. Yes, indeedy, looking good. All right. Onions are starting to look a little translucent, which is exactly what we want. So, these are chicken enchiladas, you say, right? Now, I'm going to tell you, Pam and I, we used to go and we would get some chicken breast, and you can do this. We would grill them, then chop them up, then add them to this. We're going for quick and easy today. So I've got some organic ground chicken. Actually, I think this was all natural ground chicken. It's just going to be easier. And we're going to put this in with our onion mixture because our onions are now translucent, okay? They're fine. So here we go with that. And that's not going to take long at all to brown up. Since I've added the meat, I'm going to add a little more ground pepper. But you know what? I'm not going to add any more salt. I think I've got enough saltiness in this dish. I'm going to add just a touch more cumin to my ground chicken. Okay. Now, if this starts to stick a little, I might need to add a little more olive oil, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm telling you guys, this is so easy. And what you want to do when you're dealing with like ground chicken, I'm going to turn it up just a little bit, get it a little hotter. You want to make sure, of course, it's cooked through and through. We will be eventually baking these in the oven, but they're essentially going to be done once we put them in our Pyrex dishes over here to bake. Okay. And you just want to keep moving it around so it gets evenly cooked, okay? And you want to have it nice and chopped up. Ground chicken, if you don't keep it moving and chopping like this, it'll clump up on you. And you don't want that. Look at that. Smells excellent. So that's doing pretty good. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. I have my moments, you know, where I really miss Pam. I had one of those happen today. Actually played golf earlier this afternoon. It's the weekend when I'm doing this. And a guy that works the golf course part-time mentioned to me that he works at Red Lobster. Now you're going to think, well, why would Red Lobster make you sad? Well, Pam and I Pam loved to go to Red Lobster. And just a couple of months before she passed, she wanted to go to Red Lobster. And there's other better seafood places, we know that, but it's just a nice place. And we'd never been here though, where we're living in Oregon. So we went and I was so excited, and she was having trouble walking because cancer was in her bones. And I got her in the restaurant, and the poor thing, I swear, the dish she ordered, it had like some kind of like cheesy sauce on it, and it didn't go well. It almost made her sick. She just couldn't eat, and that was one of her problems towards the end. And I felt terrible about it. Well, anyway, when this fellow was telling me how he works at Red Lobster, it's funny, if you've ever lost a loved one, and you could probably relate to this, just the tiniest things can set you off. And I started to cry a little. And he said, well, I didn't mean to upset you. I said, oh, that's okay. I said, just it kind of has a memory for me that's not the greatest. But then I moved on. I tell people, you know, I move forward. I don't move on, move forward. Back to our dish. If you can see that, our meat, it's already browned. I told you this is a quick and easy dish. Next up, rotel. Yes, we could have done fresh diced tomatoes and green chilies. This has got to be quick and easy. Rotel. And I've got two different ones here. I've got the mild, and I've got the original. It's a little bit hotter. The reason is I'm making this to go to dinner at our pastor's house, and they have kids, so I didn't want to make it too hot. So, there's our rotel. And you just leave the juice in it. It's fine to leave the juice. Now look at the color we're getting now with this dish. And you probably heard my timer go off. It was actually letting me know the oven is now hot. It's set at 425. Because what we're going to do, and we won't do this as part of the video, it'd be way too long for you guys. We will let it bake for about 20-25 minutes. And then they're going to be ready to eat. I'm just taking you through the process of how you actually put these together. So, looks pretty good. And it's getting nice and warm. You want to bring the camera down, give you a little close-up look at what we've created so far. There you see it. Again, that's our ground chicken, onions, a couple of cans of rotel. We've got some garlic, salt, pepper, and cumin in there. So not crazy with spice. If kids weren't also eating this, I would have probably put some chopped jalapenos in this, and maybe even put a little chili powder. You can certainly do it. All right, now I'm seeing one small issue with this, and it's not a big deal. I've got a little too much liquid. So here's what I'm going to do though. Now, if we were making rice with this, some people do this. I'm going to give you a tip. If we were having rice with our dish, I would take this excess liquid and put it in the rice when I cooked it. Instead, I'm taking it out and I'm just going to spoon it out. I've got a little thing here, and I'm not losing really any of my ingredients, but I've got way too much liquid. And that sometimes can happen. It's not a big deal. It's real brothy. It's delicious. I kind of wish I was making some rice, because this would be really good. All right. Okay. So, see, that's not a big deal. Sometimes we freak out if we have too much of something. Not a big deal. Now, What do we add next? Well, wouldn't be enchiladas without cheese. And I'm breaking a rule. Told you guys the other day how I buy blocks of cheese, grate it myself because it's just quicker and not quicker, but cheaper. Well, I'm in a hurry this afternoon because I played on the golf course a little too late. So I've got some organic shredded cheese. This is a mix, a 3-cheese blend. Monterey Jack, cheddar. Again, if I wasn't making it with kids in mind, I would put some pepper jack as well. So here's what we do. We add the cheese to this mixture. And I'm going to save some because we're going to top them with a little cheese as well. There we go. So this is going to be cheesy, good, and delicious. Look at that. And I'm going to add the rest of it because what you're going to find out is with the extra concoction, if you will, of all of our ingredients here, after we've rolled our enchiladas, what's left is going to go on top. You follow what I'm saying there? So here we'll add some more cheese. So enchiladas are supposed to be cheesy, right? There we go. I told you this was easy. And some of you, you've probably made enchiladas, went, well, I wouldn't do them that way. Well, there's tons of ways you can do enchiladas. Okay, I'm turning the heat off now. Okay, everything is ready. We've got our cheese in there. It's all melty. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? And there you have it. I'm going to take a little bite. Let's see, make sure our flavoring's right. It's excellent. Okay, now, normally on the tortillas, I would fry them a little bit, but we're making this quick and easy. So you know what you can do? You can cheat like I do sometimes. You pop your tortilla in the microwave. How long you say? About 10 seconds. That's all. We're going to microwave that tortilla 10 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Okay. So now it's we're able to use it. Okay? And then you just take it and you spoon it in. And you roll it up, and over here I've got a little bit of oil in the bottom of my baking dish. This is my little baking dish. I'm doing a little one to show you guys how they look, okay? I'm gonna do a little one just to kind of have it finished for you. Now on that particular tortilla, I'm thinking next we need to go about 12 seconds. It wasn't quite as soft as I would have liked it. So we'll do this one 12 seconds. There we go. Ah, yeah, perfect. It's a little more flexible, if you will. Okay. Put our mixture in. There we go. And we're going to roll them up. Okay, we've got room for another one in there. This will probably make about 15, 16 enchiladas. That to me, my goal is here. About 15 or 16 enchiladas. Still got a lot of liquid in here, but that is okay. Because I'm able to get my concoction, as they say, out just fine. Oop, there we go. This one's ready, and they're pretty hot to deal with, too. All right. But just a... Whew. All right. Now, what you would do, okay, we're just doing the small dish now, just for the video purposes, is you would top it. You're going to have some of this left over. And it doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit of what your little concoction here of your meat and your onions and your rotel, okay? So we take that, and then we've got some 100%, this is plain grass-fed organic yogurt. You could do sour cream, but I do yogurt. And you're going to put that, just kind of smear it across the top. Now, the thing about enchiladas, they're not that pretty when you're cooking them, but looks don't matter. It tastes delicious. And that yogurt will bake on the top there. So, there you have it. And you're going to pop those in the oven, as I mentioned, for about 20-25 minutes. They're going to come out piping hot and ready to eat. That's all there is to it. Was that quick? Was that easy? And it's going to taste great. Mexican chicken enchiladas. Hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to tell all your friends and neighbors, anybody you know, subscribe to our channel, Traveling with Jack and Pam. You guys have a great day and make it a better tomorrow. Bye now.